Discipline is a decision against excuses. Discipline does not begin on the day you wake up motivated. It does not begin when conditions are perfect or when you suddenly feel strong. Discipline begins at a much quieter and more uncomfortable moment, the moment you stop debating with yourself. Most people believe discipline is about force, pain, or extreme control. This belief is incorrect. Discipline is not about enjoying pain or suffering. It is about choosing a direction and accepting the cost that comes with that direction. Every human life contains pain. This is unavoidable. The mistake people make is believing that discipline creates pain while comfort removes it. In reality, pain exists on both sides. There is pain in waking up early, working when tired, saying no to distractions, and continuing when results are invisible. But there is also pain in regret, wasted years, lost potential, and the realization that you knew what to do but did not do it. Discipline is simply the decision of which pain you are willing to live with. Most inner conflict comes from indecision. When a person debates daily, should I start tomorrow? Should I rest today? Should I try again? Energy is wasted before any action is taken. The mind becomes tired without progress. Discipline removes debate. Once a decision is made, action becomes mechanical. You do not ask whether to brush your teeth every morning, you simply do it. Discipline works the same way when properly built. Another misunderstanding is that discipline requires motivation. Motivation is emotional and unstable. It changes with mood, weather, results, and external praise. Discipline does not depend on emotion. It depends on identity and direction. When a person knows who they are becoming and where they are going, action becomes logical rather than emotional. Discipline is not force, it is alignment between action and long-term vision. Discipline is also misunderstood as self-punishment. People believe they must hate themselves into improvement. This approach fails because it creates resistance. True discipline is calm. It is firm but not violent. It does not shout, it instructs. It is the ability to act correctly even when emotions disagree. It is the ability to delay comfort for clarity. At its core, discipline is a decision against excuses. Excuses are stories created to protect comfort. They sound reasonable and intelligent, but they slowly destroy progress. Discipline does not argue with excuses, it ignores them. When discipline is present, excuses lose power because action has already been decided. This guide will explain discipline not as motivation, not as inspiration, but as a system of decisions. Each lesson will break one layer of misunderstanding and replace it with practical clarity. The goal is not intensity for a few days but stability for years. Discipline is not about starting strong, it is about continuing without drama. The following 7 lessons are designed to rebuild discipline from the inside outward: thoughts, decisions, habits, identity, and long-term behavior. Read each lesson slowly. Do not search for excitement. Discipline grows in understanding, not in emotion. Lesson 1. Discipline begins when debate ends. Discipline does not begin with action. It begins before action, at the moment a person stops arguing with their own mind. Most people believe their problem is laziness or lack of motivation. In reality, the deeper problem is constant internal debate. Every day, the same questions repeat. Should I do it today or tomorrow? Should I rest or push? Is this the right time? This debate looks harmless, but it silently destroys discipline. When a person debates, energy is already being spent. The mind becomes tired before the body even moves. This is why many people feel exhausted without doing meaningful work. Discipline removes this unnecessary mental work. It closes decisions in advance so they do not need to be reopened every day. A disciplined person does not decide daily whether to follow a routine. The decision has already been made. For example, when you wake up in the morning, you do not debate whether to brush your teeth. You do it automatically. Not because you are motivated, but because the decision was closed long ago. Discipline works the same way in work, study, health, and personal growth. Debate exists because the mind is trying to protect comfort. Comfort is familiar and safe. Discipline threatens comfort, so the mind creates arguments to delay action. These arguments sound logical. I am tired, I will do it tomorrow, today is not important. Discipline is not about winning these arguments. It is about refusing to enter the argument at all. Once debate ends, action becomes simple. There is no emotional struggle. There is no drama. There is only execution. This is why discipline feels calm when done correctly. It is not loud or aggressive. It is quiet and firm. Many people believe discipline requires strong willpower. This belief is misleading. Willpower is limited and unstable. Discipline depends on pre-decided rules. Rules reduce the need for daily choices. When rules exist, emotions lose control. For example, a rule such as I study every day at 6 a.m. removes the question of when to study. The mind may resist, but resistance does not change the rule. Debate also creates inconsistency. When decisions are made emotionally, behavior changes daily. Some days are productive, other days are wasted. Discipline demands consistency, and consistency requires fewer decisions, not more. Every extra choice increases the chance of failure. To end debate, clarity is required. A person must clearly define what matters and what does not. When goals are vague, debate increases. When direction is clear, debate decreases. Discipline is easier when the mind knows exactly what is expected. Another reason debate continues is fear of discomfort. Action always involves some level of pain, physical, mental, or emotional. The mind tries to avoid this pain by delaying action. Discipline accepts discomfort as part of progress. It does not wait for comfort to appear. Ending debate does not mean ignoring reality. It means deciding in advance how to respond to reality. For example, instead of asking, "Should I work out if I feel tired?" the disciplined decision becomes, "I work out even when I feel tired, unless I am injured." This removes uncertainty and emotional decision-making. Discipline also requires boundaries. Without boundaries, debate enters easily. Boundaries protect decisions. When time, environment, and routine are controlled, debate reduces naturally. Discipline grows not through force, but through structure. In summary, discipline begins when daily negotiation ends. The mind should not be asked to decide repeatedly what the body must already know. When decisions are fixed, action becomes automatic. This is the foundation of all discipline. Without this foundation, no habit can last. Lesson 2. Pain is inevitable. Discipline chooses the right pain. Many people avoid discipline because they believe it creates pain. This belief is incomplete. Discipline does not create pain, it simply brings pain forward in time. Pain already exists in life, whether a person chooses discipline or not. The real question is not how to avoid pain, but which pain to accept. There are two types of pain that shape human life. The first is the pain of effort. This includes waking up early, working when the body is tired, staying focused when distractions are available, and continuing when results are slow. This pain is immediate, visible, and uncomfortable. The second type is the pain of regret. This pain appears later. It comes from missed opportunities, wasted time, poor health, and unfulfilled potential. This pain is silent at first, but it grows stronger with time. Most people choose the first path without realizing it. They avoid the pain of effort today and unknowingly choose the pain of regret tomorrow. Discipline reverses this pattern. It teaches a person to accept small, controlled pain now to prevent large, uncontrollable pain later. Pain becomes dangerous only when it is unexpected. When a person believes discipline should feel easy, the first difficulty feels like failure. Discipline requires a correct expectation of pain. When discomfort is expected, it no longer creates fear. It becomes a normal part of progress. A disciplined person does not enjoy pain, nor do they seek it. Discipline is not self-punishment. It is intelligent sacrifice. The effort applied is purposeful and limited. It is guided by direction, not by emotion or ego. Regret is more damaging than effort because it cannot be corrected easily. Effort can be adjusted, improved, and managed. Regret stays and repeats itself mentally. Discipline protects a person from this mental suffering by ensuring consistent action. Another misunderstanding is that discipline removes happiness. In truth, lack of discipline removes peace. A person without discipline lives in constant guilt. Even moments of rest feel uncomfortable because important tasks are being avoided. Discipline restores peace by aligning actions with values. Discipline also builds tolerance to discomfort. This tolerance increases confidence. When a person repeatedly proves they can act despite discomfort, fear loses control. Pain stops being a threat and becomes information. Choosing the right pain also builds self-respect. Every disciplined action sends a message to the mind, I can trust myself. This trust reduces internal conflict and increases stability. Discipline does not remove pain from life. It simply allows a person to choose pain with purpose rather than suffering without meaning. This is the second foundation of discipline. Lesson 3. Discipline is direction, not emotion. One of the most common misunderstandings about discipline is the belief that it depends on feeling motivated, confident, or ready. This belief creates long delays and repeated failure. Emotions are unstable by nature. They change with sleep, food, weather, mood, results, and external opinions. If discipline is built on emotion, it will collapse regularly. Discipline is not an emotional decision. It is a directional one. Direction answers one question clearly: where am I going? Once direction is defined, behavior becomes a matter of alignment rather than feeling. A disciplined person does not ask, do I feel like doing this? They ask, does this action move me in my chosen direction? When direction is unclear, emotions take control. Confusion increases hesitation. Hesitation creates anxiety. Anxiety leads to avoidance. Discipline breaks this chain by establishing direction first. When the path is known, action becomes simpler. Many people wait to feel ready before they begin. This is a serious error. Readiness is not a requirement for action, it is a result of action. Confidence grows after movement, not before it. Discipline understands this sequence and acts despite uncertainty. Direction must be long-term. Short-term goals are influenced by emotion. Long-term direction provides stability. When a person commits to becoming a certain type of individual, daily actions gain meaning even when they feel difficult. Another mistake is confusing excitement with discipline. Excitement is temporary. Discipline is neutral. It operates the same way on good days and bad days. When direction is strong, even low-energy days remain productive. Clear direction also reduces distraction. When priorities are defined, unnecessary choices disappear. Discipline becomes easier because fewer decisions compete for attention. Direction must be written, not imagined. Vague intentions create emotional dependence. Clear statements create discipline. For example, I train daily to improve my health is stronger than I want to be healthier. Discipline grows when actions consistently reflect direction. Each aligned action reinforces commitment. Over time, emotional resistance weakens. Discipline does not eliminate emotions. It simply prevents emotions from controlling behavior. Direction leads, emotions follow. Lesson 4. Identity builds discipline more than willpower. Most people rely on willpower to stay disciplined. This approach fails over time. Willpower is limited and easily exhausted. Identity, on the other hand, is stable and self-reinforcing. True discipline grows when behavior aligns with identity rather than force. When a person says, "I am trying to be disciplined," they depend on effort. When a person says, "I am a disciplined person," behavior changes naturally. The mind works to protect identity. Actions that contradict identity create discomfort, while actions that support it feel correct. Discipline becomes easier when it is no longer something you do, but something you are. Identity removes the need for constant control. Instead of fighting temptation, the person no longer sees certain actions as options. For example, a person who identifies as a runner does not debate whether to run. Running is part of who they are. In the same way, a disciplined person does not negotiate with basic responsibilities. The identity itself guides behavior. Identity is built through repeated proof. Small disciplined actions create evidence. Evidence strengthens identity. Strong identity reduces resistance. This cycle is gradual but powerful. Many people damage their identity by breaking promises to themselves. Each broken promise weakens self-trust. Discipline restores this trust through consistent follow-through, even on small tasks. Identity-based discipline is calm and sustainable. It does not require pressure or anger. It relies on alignment and self-respect. To build discipline, focus on becoming the type of person who acts correctly, not on forcing perfect behavior. Identity lasts longer than motivation. Lesson 5. Discipline is built by systems, not intensity. Many people believe discipline means working with extreme intensity. They push hard for a few days, then collapse. This cycle repeats because intensity depends on emotion and energy. Discipline depends on systems. A system is a structured way of acting that reduces dependence on mood. Time, place, and sequence form systems. When systems exist, discipline becomes easier because action requires less thought. For example, studying at the same time and place every day removes the decision of when and where. The system carries the discipline, not the person's emotions. Systems protect discipline during low-energy days. On such days, effort feels heavy, but systems guide behavior automatically. This prevents long breaks and inconsistency. Environment is part of the system. A clean, organized space encourages focus. A distracting environment encourages avoidance. Discipline improves when the environment supports correct action. Discipline fails when systems are absent. Without structure, people rely on motivation, which is unreliable. Systems replace motivation with routine. Small systems repeated daily outperform extreme effort done occasionally. Discipline is quiet consistency, not visible struggle. Build systems first. Discipline will follow. Lesson 6. Discipline requires silence, not explanation. Discipline weakens when it seeks approval. Many people feel the need to explain their plans, struggles, and goals. This creates pressure and doubt. Discipline grows best in silence. When goals are spoken too often, they receive emotional reward without action. The mind feels progress before work is done. This reduces urgency. Explaining also invites opinions. Opinions create confusion. Confusion increases debate. Discipline avoids unnecessary noise. A disciplined person lets results speak. Silence protects focus and commitment. This does not mean isolation. It means selective communication. Share only when necessary. Silence strengthens discipline by reducing external influence. Lesson 7. Discipline is a decision against excuses. Excuses are not lies. They are carefully constructed explanations designed to protect comfort. This is why excuses feel logical and reasonable. Discipline does not try to prove excuses wrong. It simply refuses to obey them. Every excuse delays action. Some excuses sound responsible. I need more time, I need better conditions, I will start when things settle. These excuses do not feel dangerous, but repeated over time, they destroy consistency. Discipline recognizes that perfect conditions never arrive. Excuses exist because the mind seeks relief from discomfort. Discipline accepts discomfort without justification. It understands that action does not need permission from feelings or circumstances. A disciplined decision is final. It does not change daily. When excuses appear, they are acknowledged but ignored. Discipline says, I hear you, but the decision is already made. Responsibility is the opposite of excuse. Discipline takes full ownership of action and outcome. This ownership builds strength and clarity. When excuses end, progress becomes predictable. Discipline creates momentum, and momentum reduces resistance. In the end, discipline is not harsh. It is honest. It removes stories and replaces them with action. This is why discipline changes lives.